Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, double stream. There. As people are coming in, just let me know who needs to be turned up or down. Or if the music needs to be turned down, I might knock that head down if I have to. Using the voice channel, how observant. I gotta be turned down? Alright, I'm gonna mute.
That's rough.
You're making Derpio do all the talking the second he gets back? Wow.
Yeah, just...
Alright, tell us what we've been
They
doing in the
missed
last
me.
couple
They
months,
missed
Derpy. What? I don't know code. Give it another few minutes, let a few more people come in. And then, where's my...
Been gone so long, I swear I don't remember Discord doing these ads in the corner.
Yeah, they that and in the sidebar you get people like, this friend is playing this game and it's above every member in the list. It's really random. Twitch link not working?
It's working for me. I was able to pull it up and I can hear. So, not sure what Recursive's issue is. Maybe I should also pull up the questions. See if there's anything put
most
there.
of them are going to be from people joining again. I'll have a comment on that later on.
Saugia, you are recording the stream, right?
Yes. So I will be able to
Start streaming it so the replay will be downloadable.
And I think Hector usually throws that on YouTube.
Okay.
There's one different question. What are you leaving it now? Oh, is that him? Oh. Not that, I don't know if stream can stream hear Discord. I might mute notifications.
Let me ping you and test.
Why is it? Oh, great. Why is it not streamer mode? Enable streamer mode. Okay, no, I don't have ping sounds. I have like DM sounds and things like that.
I usually just would disable all notification sounds when I started.
I usually have streamer mode. I don't know why it's not on right now. There we go.
Something I'll note, I actually have 2 monitors now, so I can look at both chats
sick.
without having to swap back and forth between windows.
Yeah.
So I do see say Ray. So the link in the text worked, but the link below the text didn't work. I guess that's recursive. That is odd.
Really?
So the embed didn't work, but the actual proper link did.
Well, it's because wait, the embed leads just to Twitch. Why is that? Oh no, it links to wait what?
Oh, it includes the period from the sentence.
Why is it including the period? That's not in the link though.
Thank you, Discord. Very cool.
Yeah, I blame Discord. Anyway, hello. This is our 16th Campfire chat. It is not the 17th because we skipped last month. We are joined by the horse for once. No.
Hello.
Yes, he has returned from the mines, but sure we'll have a little fun discussion today. And I do want to like just a few more minutes just to give questions, but if you guys want to start, like usually we let people throw some stuff around in chat before we get to the actual questions. And since there's not that many of them, like I think we can do a bit more live answering. Drippy's playing Minecraft instead of Endless Sky. I don't know, has he?
I did make that Discord or not that Minecraft server that I played with some friends on.
And Saugia.
Yeah. Yeah, you did say I returned to the mine.
True. That was actually not intentional.
Not entirely incorrect.
Yeah, those mines, the in Minecraft mines.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much of this wants to be like, how was my break versus what's actually happening with the game.
I think it's probably gonna be a bit split down the middle instead of like 80% with the game. But no one cares about.
No one cares.
Well, all right. I guess you can leave, go back to break again.
Yep.
Warp doesn't care.
I'm not wanted here.
Hello, merchant campaign when? After the Navy campaign.
Yep, mark your calendars.
So next update.
Yeah.
Next update's gonna be funky because it's partly because a lot of people are on their finals right now, or they're getting like season work, so it's kind of died down a little bit on the GitHub side of things. But I imagine it'll pick back up before the end of January.
Yeah, I will definitely be more active.
Yeah. So, let's see. What was your
Yeah.
Do it. Screech to during
Did Roadrunner's comment. Love how development screeches to a halt during exam season.
Yeah. I think the highest part of the year for development is like April, May. When we get into summer. That's my experience with it. And then a little bit of like a couple months ago.
I know I'd ran the numbers on this before. I have a spreadsheet somewhere.
Yeah, for at least
where I
pull
like
requests.
Yeah, for the activity of pull requests. Let me see if I can find it.
Because I think there might be like a little jump of it around this time because we do all go on break. If you guys want to answer or ask any questions, you can either ping us in chat or throw them into the link.
Yeah, I think we can get started with the questions, actually.
I will answer this one right away, though, because it did just come in. There is no spoiler policy. Ask whatever you want. We're going to say everything about the game, so...
Hey, yeah, if you just found the game, this is probably not the stream for you. Because you're gonna... especially if you don't want to hear spoilers.
Especially because everything on the screen, all the rotating images are everything in the game. So
yeah.
You were probably looking at alien content right now. When did the AVG move get
All right,
merged?
so I found the spreadsheet. It's a little out of date. I haven't updated this since a little over a year ago, so I don't have the last year's worth of pull requests. But according to this, our most active month is January.
Okay.
Our least active month is actually March.
So right before, well, I guess it's not right before exams again.
Yeah. See, I'm not sure why that would be the case, that March would be our least active. That's just in terms of the number of pull requests opened, though. That's not... Maybe I could change this
like
to look at it in terms of like stuff merged.
Middle of like like in between updates or something? January is right on.
I mean, this is over the whole lifespan of the game.
Okay.
So maybe it would be more accurate to look at it in terms of like the last couple years. But
yeah,
that's just the rough numbers that I had on hand. I don't want to spend this whole this whole chat messing with a spreadsheet.
What do you mean that's your favorite thing? You love Desmos and spreadsheets and... Hello. Benelux.
What is this?
What is that?
The Lorax.
I'm not playing anything on stream.
Yeah, I don't know what the volume of the... Actually, I'm not hearing anything from playing it. So... it's just the Lorax dance.
I guess we could just... we'll briefly talk about... like, you can talk about you and your break, and then I'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the game, and we can go for questions from there. So how was your break? Did you get a nice relaxing time away from the sky and or get some IRL stuff done? Who cares? That's warp.
I mean, still had to deal with my job, so it's not like it was smooth sailing or anything. I know I mentioned this to the core guys, but I actually got a promotion a few months back now. Or at least I was told I would be getting a promotion, and I did get the new title and everything. But right now I'm stuck between positions where I'm still doing the work of the old position while slowly trying to pick up the work of the new position.
Hmm.
But then like stuff keeps coming up with the old position, so I keep having to like go back, and it's like rubber banding back and forth. It's a bit of a pain. But it's nothing I can't handle, you know. Just kind of wish it'd be over already, because it's been like 2.5 months ish in the making, or not even in the making. Like I was told that I'd be getting this new position like probably back before I even started the hiatus. Like
Yeah,
no
I think
joke.
I remember you
It's been
talking
that
about
long.
it. They were talking about it. For
Yeah,
those who
but,
don't know, because I know we do have a few new faces like around GitHub and Discord. Derpy is essentially our lead dev, and he's kind of been away for a little bit.
Still giving me that title.
Yeah, man. You've been around here longer than any of us, and know more than any of us. That's
You
not
guys
to
had like
say...
4 months to usurp me, and you didn't take it.
No, see, you're lead dev knowledge-wise, but if we don't like something you don't like, we don't let you do it. That's, okay. Contrary to popular belief, we disagree with them a lot. Not a lot.
Yeah, these guys hate me.
Yeah.
I'm like a tyrant.
Go away. Orp doesn't care. Saugia. Okay, we're not talking about smartass.
I mean, isn't Peter older?
I'm pretty sure
actually?
Peter's older than me. That's not what this
Yeah, I'd
stream
be
is about.
surprised if somehow Saugia is the oldest.
Yeah, no. Don't make me feel any older than I am.
Yeah.
I've got a Twitch question in chat. Really feel. Okay, for Warp's making fun of my arthritis. Yeah, winter hit and my joints did not like that, and so like I could barely move some of my fingers for a while. They're still kind of swollen. See my typing? Yeah, shut up. I couldn't stream, and still kind of like I can like type now. I can do things on my computer, but still trying to watch that. I don't know why. It only happens in the winter. I could be like living here on my computer 24 hours a day in the summer, and my fingers won't get swollen. It's got to be the winter. But that's why I wasn't there for that last stream. I was going to jump to that Twitch message. Mary Cat asks, this is possibly out of the scope, but while I've known this game since forever, I really just sat down to play around with it. I was wondering, given the text nature of all the data files, do you have an IDE for building stuff?
We didn't make our own IDE.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. A lot of people use just Notepad++, since, I mean, they're just text files, so any text editor will do.
Yeah.
But there is a syntax highlighter that I believe Omega made. I don't know if that's still in use or if somebody has updated it. But there is a text highlighter to make just visually reading the data code a lot easier.
There is also like a system editor and some mission editors around.
Yeah,
I don't know if they are up to date.
some like various third-party programs that some people, part of the community, has made. Most of them are pretty
third party,
old,
as
though.
in people have made them themselves, and they aren't technically official, but like
Yeah.
everyone uses them. So yeah, if you go to the development resources channel on Discord, then just scroll through there, and there are we link a bunch of those types of resources. So I see the syntax highlighters in there that I mentioned, and then we have
Do we have a page on GitHub for that?
Quick's plugin editor, probably some other stuff in there.
VSC is good. Yeah, people use that too.
But yeah, those are the type of resources that are out there, but it's not really a unified system that we've created. It's more so just bits and bobs here and there that people have made that have been helpful.
And of course, you got some of us build the game with code blocks, and I mean, I used to, and then
I
someone else
haven't
built
used
it.
that for like a year.
Oh, I thought you were adamant on staying on that because Quick kept trying to get you to use VSC.
I swapped forever ago, and
Oh.
yet Warp is still over here saying like, "Oh, don't make him use the command line." I've been using the command line for like a year to build the game, at least.
This herpes voice is breaking. Voice crack.
Being slandered here. This is why I left. No.
No problem, very cat. I guess we could just answer a couple of random questions. So, are the Chorus Mark III plasma cores still some of the best energy generation outputs and taking account heat dissipation? I believe so. Most of the newer content it has not been around Chorus levels of efficiency. Doom can probably answer that better than me though. He's on the balance side.
I think that the Bunradia reactors are busted right now because of the fact that they use negative heat generation instead of cooling.
I saw something about that.
Yeah, I kind of realized shortly after I did that, I was like, probably not the most balanced approach. I no joke wasn't even thinking about outfit expansions when I did that. I'm probably going to nerf them before the next update so that I want to keep some of the negative heat generation, but I want to split the difference a little, so it's like maybe 50% negative heat generation, then the other 50% is cooling, so that you still at least are impacted by the outfit expansions.
Yeah.
Instead of being able to completely ignore that mechanic.
Doom is typing.
Oh, yeah. Just anything balanced about Doom, he will give you the whole novel and all the facts behind it, so which is good.
Yeah. Araki says, what about the successor batteries which can remove more hull repair energy than all the energy your hull repair uses up? That's new to me. I have not looked at anything about the successors.
Yeah, that's probably something that should be tweaked.
Yeah.
Depending on...
Yeah,
What?
That does sound like a bug because we generally don't allow negative values.
Yeah,
so...
we try and avoid... Yeah. I know with the Abgi, there's some negative... is it negative heat generation? With some of the outfits? I'd have to go back into them, but... I'll talk about...
Negative afterburner heat.
Negative what, sorry?
Negative heat on the afterburners.
Yeah, okay. We'll get to that when I talk about the Abgi, because that will be a subject today. I remember someone was asking about that. Doom says, regarding the Mark III plasma cores, they're definitely top 10. After we added the cooling, they're only beaten by Blue Sun, Helix Smart Large Reactor Modules, the Antimatter Core, which is unbalanced anyways, and the White Sun. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, Derpy, that's new to you. I got the successors in last major update. It's pretty interesting faction down in the south. Really nice sprites, interesting premise. Not OP.
So I'm told.
Yeah. Something's really cool with them is they have really long reloads on their weapons. So when there's like fights between them, it's actually a little less like consistent jousting and more, I don't know, bullet hell mobile, something like that.
A lot of them also have like really low accuracy. You can't even hit anything.
Look into those.
Roadrunner says, I really like the successors. The art's gorgeous and the concept is really interesting in my opinion. Glad they got in the game. Alright, that's cool to see.
That and I guess I will branch it onto that. The other half of that area with the Abgi coming in, having those together in the game will, I think, be a very good thing for the game because they kind of play off of each other. The successors got merged first just because at the time they've been a plugin for a long time, and they were like Derry was like grinding out making those polished. So not to say that the Abgi is also, there's like a ton of content in Abgi PR, but I've actually got a chance to play through that. And with Doom's balancing, Doom already approved the balance of it and got through that. I've played through the story, like the intro, and I'm going through the art right now. And I'm assuming this is one of those, like, I think Azure is dealing with exams and stuff like that. So I would very much like to get in for the January update. The only thing that like it's missing are just some model artworks, but text-wise, like the story is pretty good. Like anything after that point can just be line changes or something, which I think is perfectly fine for the stable following it. So as long as like the artwork gets in, I'm ready to merge it before next update. Unless Derpy pulls a rug or something, you know, blame him.
Nah.
Very, very cool stuff. I love the Abgi. So yeah, I guess that kind of pushes us into what's going on with Endless Skies. The Abgi are on my immediate horizon. The other thing on my immediate horizon that I've been talking around the Discord, especially with Doom, is the carrier rework, which is a buff to the Aerie, so it's going to have double the fighters because it deserves it. And the Navy carrier is going through quite a bit of a change. Someone changed the Discord's status message to a bunch of cows in Iraqi. I'm going to guess either Iraqi did that or someone who was talking about on GitHub about why the long cows are called longhouse did that. Because I remember there being a discussion on it. Baseless accusation, says Iraqi. So you say. But yeah, with the carrier rework, Doom would be Doom would be able to say more about that because he's actually played testing through it right now. Essentially, what my thoughts on with that, because I did bring this up in a previous Campfire chat, I believe, was right now the carrier is a cruiser with fighter bays. Actually, it has more guns than a cruiser. So essentially, the PR cuts off half of its guns and a turret, and it gets double the fighter base. And that way, you can, when you're fighting it in free worlds, you're less worried about the carrier just blasting you with like 8 guns and a bunch of turrets and missiles and stuff. And you have a bit more to play around with just trying to kill its fighters, which admittedly, like fighters earlier game are powerful, but they're very easy to kill. So if you're able to manage fighting off the fighter's swarm, the carrier itself is less of a problem than it normally would be when it was a self-sustained cruiser. So Doom's typing about that. The most latest thing is Aerie feels a lot more appropriate for its value as a medium ship with the 2 extra fighters, so that's good. Still play testing the carrier in the Free Worlds campaign though. And with that said, we did take into consideration the gift bringer, which we ended up deciding will not change. However, I did, because, well, the thing with the gift bringer fight is if that thing got twice the amount of Korath drones on it, that would be impossible. The Korath drones are actually really powerful. But, and I know this has been a very on and off thing, but I went ahead and kind of made the decision. Because the gift bringer is going to be notably different than the regular carriers now, I had, I quote, commissioned Gefu to make a unique sprite for it. So that'll be a little fun thing. It's not like crazy different than the regular carrier. It's going to have like a little bit of like different details on it, but just kind of something to differentiate it from it now that it and the regular carrier are going to be even further apart. What is the PR number for the carrier rework? I will do you one better and I will link you the PR myself. Oh, or Doom does that. That works too.
You just had that on memory.
Here is out work. Hey, I was literally about to hit enter and warped it. You guys can do it from now on. Oh, Doom approved the PR yesterday. Wow, I didn't see that. Well, okay. Well, if it gets merged, it gets merged. Yeah, those are the two major things on my radar, and the Abgi is quite a big thing to look at. So, because I still have to go through the other half of its artwork as well as the side content, because the intro is actually pretty long. So, I do know that you mentioned now, Jarl. I do know Roadrunner is looking at a couple of human mission PRs, like free. I say this wrong, Ildico, and saving. I think there was like was it a Timothy PR? Jarl. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Jarl? Timmy got merged. Okay. Oh, the guy who talks about things not being muted every time we ping Campfire chat thing. Yeah, it didn't get muted. I don't know, man. That's just Discord. We would love to change that if we could. Copy.
Didn't even get the ping last month either.
That's because we
One ping every 2 months now. I cannot live with this number of pings.
You can tell I haven't played Skyrim. Oh, is that what the Jarl Dane's from?
Talk to Discord.
Yeah.
If despite the settings, it still pings you.
Yeah. Happens. Let me see if anyone said anything in Twitch chat. Nope. Most people seem to be in Discord.
He's only in this server to complain about the Campfire chat. Look at his messages. He hasn't said anything outside of the Campfire chat room since 2021.
Okay, he just told me there are many workarounds all built into Discord. I don't know. I mean, dude, at this point, just leave the server. I don't know what to say. No one else has the problem.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, they got the Xenosmith. You got the new Syndicate business missions. There's a lot of this human content coming from Dane as well as Draft here. So. If some of that doesn't, if I'd imagine not all of that gets into this next update, but eventually when I'm done with the Abgi, I might look at my eyes that way too for next major update. Because we don't really have any big things planned after that immediately. Well, we do and we don't, but we'll get to that. See if any new questions. We can probably start getting to just general questioning.
We do have questions on the Google Forms.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Is we'll get to that. Mahari asks, "Is there any Quark stuff in the works? I understand the current ships were originally meant to be placeholders." The thing with Quark ships is there is an entire discussion post. I'll see if I'll link it to you here. We have a discussion post that I started last year, or was that 2 years ago? Let's see. It was a year ago. About. Yeah, so this is the extent of what we're changing here for the Korg. The ships themselves are placeholder, and we kind of plan on expanding the shipyard a little bit, but we already had the design philosophy and what we kind of generally want them to look like going. Right now, it's just mostly waiting on Todd, because Todd is the one who's modeling the new sprites, and Todd is pretty busy. I usually poke them every now and then, see what they can get with sprites, and if you look down in the Discord in the Korg Revamp channel, they post updates every now and then. So that's what's going on with the Korg right now. What is going on? Says Smokey in all caps. Yes, there will also be a Korg rebalance along with the new ships, because the ships were not just the sprites were placeholders. Everything about the Korg right now is placeholder, except their lore. The lore's not.
Yeah. For some background, MZ added the Quarg when the only other alien races in the game were the Korth Exiles and the High. So he kind of eyeballed it and was like, this is about where Tier 3 is going to be. But I'll figure it out. I'll figure out the details later. He never figured out the details later because he never got there.
Yeah.
So now it's on us to figure it out.
Kind of like the Wanderers.
Yeah, same thing.
In the
Dream
Navy
asks...
campaign.
Yeah. And Warp says he actually expected to buff them later. That... I don't know if that was an expectation, but he did say that was a possibility.
I do think that there have been changes to the Quark ships in the past. So maybe they were weaker when MC made them.
Yeah, they might have already been buffed or something.
Yeah.
Dream asks, how much mystery content may be / is on the horizon? A la the other human system without warp lanes, abandoned places, Kahet. Well, if I told you, it wouldn't be a mystery now, would it?
I was actually thinking about this earlier today. By other humans, do you mean the Remnant? If so, we're not sure. The Remnant are generally what Zitchis Works is on, and we're not sure what Zitchis is up to nowadays. So, systems without warp lanes. If you're talking about just random jump drive systems, is that what you're if that's what you're asking? There could be a lot of things with that. Yes, I saw the joke.
Yeah.
Abandoned places. If you mean, I'm not sure what you mean by abandoned places. If you mean,
I imagine that's like planets with signs of past life on them, but there's just no one there anymore. So like abandoned civilizations.
I'm gonna have some exposition here. A lot of people bug me if the one planet in Gagno Space was a pug planet. What was it called again? Let's see. It was called Jegvu, is like the name of the system, and the planet is Garabvu. TLDR. I thought about it. That's it. It never was supposed to be, and it isn't. So I recall.
Roll.
Yeah, roll a dice. I recall like bringing it up that it could be a pug planet, and I remember at the time Derpy or someone else was like, "No, we don't need everyone having pug planets everywhere." And so
yeah,
I really can't give you an answer because I don't know. I don't know if it's a pug planet or not. So have fun with that, I guess. I don't know. Some people like the initial thought was maybe. That's all.
Mary asks, are there plans for the Quarg to get their own home territory, or are we not worrying about that? Or is that not the direction their lore is going? We do actually have some ideas of where we want to place the Quarg homeworld and their home systems, but I don't imagine those would be added anytime soon.
It's
because there's not really a need in the story to have a home Quarg planet visitable by the player just yet. So I think that that should absolutely wait until the Quarg revamp is done first, because we want, or I would imagine, I don't want to speak for everyone here, but I would imagine we would want the Quarg homeworld and home systems to be special, and that you would see stuff there you wouldn't see anywhere else. Otherwise, what is it? It wouldn't be any different than stumbling upon another ring world.
Yeah. There's a bunch of discussion with that too. Some people still think that the Korg shouldn't have a homeworld, but it's kind of already written into the game with their home, the small low gravity moon in like near a gas giant homeworld. So
But they did
Iraqi
have
makes
a home. Doesn't mean they still have it.
yeah,
Iraqi makes a good point here about the pug situation. We really need to try and not do the opposite, though. Like instead of an extreme of the pug being everywhere, we could be in the extreme where the pug are only ever involved
yeah,
in human and wanderous space, which would be equally oof.
yeah. There are factions, like people who are still making factions or some things that already point to the pugs being involved with them. I know a big lore point of a possible upcoming faction of the basketball from Roadrunner, and the pug are pretty involved with that. It's just one of those, like, tagging the pug on because they're doing the same thing the Korg is doing and have a little hideout near every faction like the Wanderers and the Humans. That's what we're trying to avoid.
Yeah, the manner in which the pug influence any given faction shouldn't be the same for every single faction.
It shouldn't be that every area the pug came in early in their history either gave them tech or told them to do this or that with their civilization and left. We're not doing that with every faction, though.
Doom says, once the Korg have more than 2 ships to work with, I'm hoping we can add more variety in which places, or which of their ships appear in which places. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the thing with that I want to do is the Korg, if you look at that document, they're going to have like different areas of ships. Like they'll have legacy ships from older times of the Korg, and then they'll have newer ones that they made because of the pugs meddling. And the thing that I want to see is between each Korg location, a given ship might have a slightly different appearance. So a War Dragon, I don't even think they're going to be called War Dragons. Oh no, they will be. A War Dragon in Coalition space might look way different than a War Dragon in high space. Not way different, sorry, but like kind of like how Marauders work, like slightly different variations of it. So that'll be cool.
Arctic Fox asks, are the Unfettered getting some love, or are they done for now? I know that Hurl was the one who was primarily working on the Unfettered stuff, and he does have a campaign pull quest that is open right now. Yeah, Roadrunner says there's an Unfettered campaign in the works with Hurl, but that's still in limbo at the moment. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Hurl is on vacation.
Okay.
That's also something that well, I think it can be done at the same time, but I think it's also one of those things where we eventually get to High Reveal or something, because it would have also involved the Unfettered. Yeah. Korg. There's where you get the Korg stuff. The document's pinned in there, I believe. And so is my messages on it. Most of it's kind of already settled upon. The only thing we're waiting on is models. As for like the home space stuff, that's way down the road. Well, I think I'd like to get to the questions and the submissions first, and then we'll jump back to the chat here. So, our first question is not a question. Our second question, as usual. Kind of already got to this. What are the priorities of development team in the next update or so? As I said, my priorities are the ABGI and the carrier rework, which is about merge anyways. What are your guys' priorities?
I've been working on getting the audio system into a better place. So for now, that's mainly the sounds, so that we can like pause sounds when like the game is paused, and also volume controls. And an upcoming thing I have is speeding up the audio when you are in the fast forward mode. But I'm still waiting on other stuff to be merged.
Yeah, Type has a lot of good PRs open for that sort of thing. So the one I kind of peek at every now and then is one that gives a bunch of different sliders for different volumes in the game, which we've been having some discussions and issues every now and then with some of the sounds in the game might be louder than other sounds in the game. Not all of them are, but there are a few outliers. For example, if you compare like hyperspace sounds to certain weapons in the game, some weapons are kind of quiet and some are kind of loud, like the energy blaster versus particle cannon. And then there's also, what was the other one? Like destroying asteroids and stuff like that. Those can be kind of loud sometimes. So having multiple sliders for volumes, I think, is a good thing for the game. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Derpy.
Yeah, I've seen the pull quest.
Yeah. I think it's something we can work with.
One thing I will note with the fast forward increasing the speed of the sounds, kind of wondering if that should be a preference. Because I imagine that a lot of people are very used to the sounds not changing when they activate fast forward.
Yeah, but it also gets really inconsistent with like longer sounds like hyper jumps.
Yeah.
I definitely think that not all sounds should be sped up. Like UI sounds shouldn't. That's definitely true, and also any kind of short sound effects probably shouldn't. Like,
so you
just
mostly
wouldn't
mean
get, like-
hyperspace then, or?
And not only that, like also explosions, those take a long time.
Yes, yeah.
There are also some like continuous loop weapon sounds that might have to get sped up. Yeah, Doom, that's actually the solution, except I think it's 3 times the speed, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because the zoom up is 3 times, not 2 times,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is weird.
I tried to like,
That'd be funny.
I tried to like resample the audio in runtime and just make it faster there, but that wasn't really feasible. So yeah, we are just going to be shipping more files.
See you later, Rocky.
Yeah, so Roadrunner says Patir 2 and Ildigo are my priorities right now. They're on hold until I finish finals, so I'm probably not going to be able to review them until late December / early January.
I will say Patir 2 is something I really want to look at.
Same.
With the Avgi, I probably won't be able to look at this update, and there is quite a bit in Patir 2, and Becca knows that. Becca figured that wouldn't be looked at for like a year or so, but I think it's something definitely on my radar because I love Patir's story. It's very interactive with the galaxy.
You can look at it after Roadrunner and I get it in the game. How about that?
You say you get it in the game?
Yeah, I want to look at it.
I thought you said not get it in the game. I was like, no, I'm gonna. I want it in the game. It's really interesting. But yeah. Doom, what are you up to besides reviewing balance? Like, what is your focus?
He's post as soon as you say that. Now that I finished reviewing the balance things. Our priority for the immediate future is working on the Wanderer campaign.
Yes.
So that was somebody asked about that earlier, and there's your answer. Doom will be looking at the Wanderer campaign.
With the Wanderer campaign, the immediate thing that Doom is doing is wrapping up the part 2, because we can't start part 3 yet without finishing off where it left off. So that's what Doom's been up to. I'm actually very excited for that as well. And we've been kind of throwing ideas around for what happens in the 3rd part. I believe that channel is public, isn't it? Yeah, there's a channel in the Discord down called Wanderer Dev where some of us are kind of throwing around ideas, but we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, then I guess everyone else has said what they're looking at. So
What are
for
your
me,
plans?
with my return,
Get it caught up?
yeah. 1, get caught up. 2, I would like to look through all of the pull quests that I had been working on that I closed and revive those and get those in. There's a few small pull quests here and there that I'm looking at, just, you know, keeping the small stuff down. I want to minimize the amount of big stuff that I have my hands in. I think that given that I was gone for a good few months and nothing exploded or fell apart as far as I can see, I can definitely trust you guys with, I can definitely trust you guys with looking at some of the big stuff on your own. I don't need my hands in absolutely everything. Of course, if you want my opinion on something, you can still ping me for it and ask me about it. But I want to try and not be the guy who's involved in absolutely everything. I want to be able to just have a few small things that I'm focusing on and be able to get through those in a timely manner.
I mean, eventually you're
Because
gonna have a cult of people telling you to get to Bunroady content already.
yeah, because like the main thing, the main issue I feel like I had beforehand was just I was in so much stuff that I could never get anything done. Of course, I was still getting stuff done, but like a lot of the big stuff I just couldn't ever really look at because I was in so much other things. So that's my plan, to try and keep a much smaller plate going forward. And if there is something that somebody wants me to look at, but my plate's already full, my small plate is already full, I'll have to say sorry, talk to me in a bit when I actually get some stuff off my plate.
Yeah.
Because at least right now with like, I don't want a full plate with Endless Sky and a full plate at my job. Because right now I definitely have a full plate at my job. I'm actually gonna have to do some stuff tomorrow for work to get it done for like meetings I have on Monday and Tuesday where stuff is due, because I just didn't have enough time this past week to work on it. But yeah.
Real quick, the thing with the Wanderer campaign that was mentioned, it's like 60% finished. That's another thing, is we do eventually here want to get to the meme of the Republic and Syndicate campaigns, but Wanderers Part 3, getting that finished up and Wanderers campaign wrapped up is kind of something that takes priority over that, because that will be the end of the game, at least the end of Vanilla. Or, well, what's in Vanilla. Yeah, some of them are theoretically being worked on, but finishing Wanderers, because Wanderers is still floating unfinished. We haven't started either the Republic or Syndicate campaign, so once we actually finish Wanderers and, you know, show that we can actually wrap up a major part of the story, then we'll jump over to the other ones. Yeah. So and then there's a question here. Is it possible to make the Korth microbot grinder actually work? Like you destroy a ship with it and get like 20 tons of metal in your cargo hold? That's a good question.
As Doom know, that's not currently possible with the existing code. Yeah. Zora says it barely works as intended right now.
Yeah. Is that something
if
that
the
we
other
will
ship-
do? I don't know. What do you guys think?
If the other ship had some cargo, then that would get dropped. So maybe we could play around with that.
Yeah. It's kind of like it starts to get into I don't want to say rabbit hole, I use that a lot lately, where if that can start to break apart ships for materials, why doesn't everything do that? And I don't imagine us making it so when you shoot at a ship, parts of it come off, or you can like grab resources from it. So, but as like a unique thing, I don't know, maybe.
Though I do realize now that like space creatures shouldn't drop metal because they don't have that. So
if it's a description thing, we should probably edit the description. However, the thing with the description is it's a unique weapon. I guess you can technically obtain it. Can you capture the utility? Is that capturable? No. Okay, well, I think mainly it's because it's you can't acquire one by vanilla means. That's partly why it's not like a huge priority right now. Yeah. It is unlootable because it is a spinal mount. You know, I think it also is the unplunderable setting or something. Alright, I want to jump back to the question sheet here. Derpy already answered how his hiatus was. You want to grab this next one, Derpy, since technically I already had some comment on this.
Sure. What would y'all want in a dynamic music system? This is mostly about Pool Quest 10,824. I know Tybe and Sog both commented already with some good insights. I'm mostly asking for this to be featured as a kind of bump to get more eyes on it from people who maybe didn't see the thread on Discord or the linked GitHub discussion. So I'll actually drop that GitHub link in chat for anyone who hasn't seen it.
And this is recent too,
And-
so a lot of us probably haven't even looked through it yet. Some of us have a little bit. I know me and Tybe have like kind of skimmed it, but a music scape has been in the cards for a long time. It's more so how we implement it than it is do we want it or not. How significant has it diverged from MZ's original plans from it? Or I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead. But what would we all want in it? I'm gonna be frank, I'm not picky because when I thought of adding music to the game, I thought just doing it with what we have right now is good enough, but having it be more dynamic with like areas and combat or not, it depends on how, I guess, specific we are with it, because I think it's something we can entirely do, but I don't think we should have like so far as like a song for every single kind of moment or interaction that you can have in the game.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, I think like areas should have music, so like human space, high space, collision space, maybe like factions within them, so like Republic music, Syndicate music, stuff like that. And then maybe combat music. What do you guys think? Pirate spaces, sea shanty.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be.
That would be awesome. So, for my own opinion on adding music to the game, I know that there's still been discussions of like how exactly do we want to add music to the game, or like how do we want to use music in the game? Because I don't think it's as simple as just slap music everywhere, because that could very easily result in the music just feeling overwhelming, overbearing if it's just in absolutely every location possible.
Yeah.
I think that one idea that at least I remember floating around a while ago was, what if we styled our music design more after Minecraft, where it isn't something that's constantly happening, it's just something that randomly every so often you'll get a song that comes on.
Yeah.
Where the songs that play would be fitted to the region that you're in or the environment that you're in. So of course, like Overworld, Nether, the End have different different songs that can play. So we would still have a similar thing with different regions of space would have different sounds or different music, but it wouldn't be that there would constantly be music playing. And even with combat music, I don't know if it'd always be the case that combat music plays during combat. I have seen people talk about maybe combat music is reserved for certain story missions.
Yeah. Like
so that it's not like every single time a pirate jumps into the system, you get
yeah.
you get combat music playing, even if it's just like a puny interceptor.
Yeah.
So we would want ways to adjust the music in terms of not just are you in combat, but how intense is the combat? Like, are you fighting a overwhelming foe, or is it just a sparrow? It's just a Scrapper theme versus Navy battle theme.
it's just because it's the pacing of Endless Sky, and a lot of other games where music is based on your current status, if you're in combat or if you're, I don't know, mining, or if you're just flying. Usually those types of games are bigger in scope, and the flight of it, I'm trying to think of how to put this. I'm like, my mind goes to simulation games, so usually you're like flying in a system and it's much larger and it takes a lot longer to get from places, and hyperspace jumps typically are longer too, when Endless Sky is a much smaller scope in that you're just kind of hopping around, you're shooting something, it blows up a few seconds later most of the time, or at least early in the game. So having it happen every single time combat happens, probably not, but I think to start with, I would just consider areas and before I forget, someone just asked here. Mahari asks or says, "I'm worried about moving so fast. I'm going to hear exactly 3 seconds of each track before I land or jump into another system." Technically, right now, if systems use the same track, it plays through while you're jumping through those systems with that track. It doesn't cut every time you jump. So I think that's how it works. If not, that's probably how we'd want it to work. We wouldn't have different tracks for like every single system or something like that. It'd be more for areas, or maybe like mostly areas. So like maybe Human Space, like I said, Syndicate. Maybe there's like for other places, there's a hot zone music track for a place where there's a bunch of fighting going on, like Messikit for the Automata. But as for like on combat, it's like on attack or something, probably not every time. Yeah, but story combat definitely sounds like a good thing. I do, however, think that a lot of the music should be kind of more ambient. Joe was saying how it's kind of like Minecraft. It shouldn't be like orchestral, like crazy orchestral, or lyrics, or it like
lyrics now.
Yeah. For example, like I was saying how I kind of
unless there might be riots.
Well, I don't know how you can do that without like.
Imagine.
we hire,
imagine though.
Hire a band.
Yeah, we will hire a band.
But yeah, mostly ambient. Cause when you kind of look at this type of game, especially back in the day, like the Escape Velocity series, games back then were kind of very subtle, ambient. Drones. I know we were talking about that. Stuff like that. When you're talking about voices, I mean, technically there is a thing in the game right now which is voices, but it's not singing voices, it's Albertor voices. But with the Roulette, like I kind of imagined, I know I got asked what the Gegno might be like. I kind of think like very simple like WoW music, kind of like just orcs going oh or something like that. I don't know. But not like like, you know, not like Lord of the Rings, but just like very subtle. So like voice wise, like that might be fine, but not like straight like a, you know, a piece.
So Roadrunner linked a comment from that discussion post. Roadrunner says, "I like Aaron Freed's comment here.
That's
probably the most in-depth outline of how music should be implemented that I've seen." And I was gonna start reading it, and then I just saw it was an essay.
Yeah, it's a novel.
It's yeah. So if you want to go read that yourself, then go for it.
I think a big takeaway from this comment, though, that I remember I was saying something about and Tybe kind of got into a discussion with, is the licensing. Those who are interested in doing this for the game, at least Aaron here and someone else, a couple of people here who know each other, they want to make sure they have their own kind of license to make sure they have permissions for it. And that kind of gets into the territory of technically anything within Endless Sky is released under GPL 3, no matter what else it is. So there was some recommendations going around of making game music similar to High DPI, where it's a separate repo. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Okay, no music.
As far as I know, that's the only way we can legally do that.
Yeah.
We can't distribute it together with the game because it doesn't fit the license.
Yeah. So it would
have to be like a separate plugin on Steam as well.
Yeah. Anything within the game itself has to be GPL 3. Everyone makes content for the game knowing that other people can use it. So it's really kind of what these individuals or who else would like to make music for the game are comfortable with. Let's see where that goes. And no, the Gegno are not Ugachak. No, thank you.
I mean, that would only be necessary insofar as whoever's providing the music would not allow their music to be released under such a permissive license. So,
from what that's
it's definitely a case by case basis in terms of the artist that's contributing to the game.
Yeah. So TLDR, Dynamic music, yes. How we go about it, still working that part out.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those things that's been like talked about for forever, and it's largely a matter of just there being enough interest in it at any given time to like really push us to finalize these things. Because we can already play music, so some of it might even be a matter of we just need to get a hold of artists who are willing to provide music for the game. And I mean, we've definitely had people offer their services over the years. So
play the new song during Kestrel fight.
Yeah. But I mean, if we have people who are right now actively talking about like, hey, I have music, I would like to add it to the game, then really that then becomes on us to actually grasp that opportunity and start getting the ball rolling on that.
Yeah, I don't know how fluent those are in code with it too, and the way we do it, implement it in the code is going to kind of be a bit of a discussion too. So it's another one of those like big overarching things for the entire game that does take a lot of time from us. So it's like Derpy said, like the interest in it has to be kind of high at the given time, because originally music wasn't. I think MZ even didn't plan on adding it until the game was done. Quote done being all 3 campaigns are in the game, and I don't know if it was. Did he think that was done, or did he think done was the galaxy was finished?
I don't even think that was his original idea. I think he just never wanted music in the game because his opinion was why. Like he was like, I couldn't make any music that's better than what people would just listen to on their own.
Yeah.
So at least the way he played, he would just play his own music, if at all. And I'm sure plenty of people do that, but I think that having a unique soundtrack can definitely add to the game, the experience playing the game. And I think it is definitely something we should ultimately have. I don't think it's something that we should necessarily try and wait for as long as possible until we add.
There's a lot of things going with it.
Zipper says play the Knave menu song during the Kestrel fight.
I'll talk to.
Is that does the license allow that? Do we need to ask somebody for that?
I was gonna say, let me see if I can go grab Matt Birch. No, I think you can't even talk to him anymore. The creator of EV.
Yeah, it is free software, but what's the license of their music?
Another free software.
GPL v2 plus GPL v3 GPL v3 CC by 3 CC by SA3.
I'd at least want to talk
Public
with them
domain.
and see if it's cool, because
yeah
we're both EV successors in a way. Spiritual successors, not successors. EV's still great, so we don't want to be button heads or anything. I haven't played.
We would definitely ask.
I haven't played Knave myself, so I will eventually.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
Yeah.
Then. Not sure what the spoiler policy is for these questions or how much you're willing to share. Everything is all
dead.
Available. Regardless, I'm curious how significantly development has diverged from MZ's original plans before he left years ago. How much of the game's current content was not part of his original idea? Did he plan any future before leaving that has since been scrapped? How has the focus of development shifted?
Yes. A lot.
I would say that, I mean, MZ's original plan was that other people would contribute to the game. So it wasn't really the case that MZ had all these massive plans lined out for absolutely everything in the game, and he was going to implement his plans to the letter without any input or anything. So it isn't really the case that on a whole, like, things have diverged from what
Yeah.
MZ was originally thinking, because it like I said, his original idea was that other people would contribute to the game and add their own ideas and stories and what have you, that stuff that even he wouldn't be coming up with. So in that respect, I wouldn't say that we've diverged at all, really.
What MZ
In
left,
terms of
what MZ
ahead.
left behind was more of a guideline of kind of how he sees Endless Sky works, and not so much everything has to be what MZ did, but more with all these new contributions to the game. Here's some bases of what I've done to the game, MZ has done to the game, and what he's kind of like following along the way. I'm sorry, you probably have a better way to say it than I do.
yeah. So Roadrunner says the Builders / Kahet, Bunradia, Gagno successors, and Incapias are factions made with no involvement from MZ, for instance. I know some of his plans, his planned lore for the Coalition is very different from how Iraqi wants to take them, though.
Yep.
Yeah, that is one thing. There was a big lore document that MZ dropped for us some years back now that was like his ideas on the history of the game, in terms of like the history of the Quarg and the Kahet, the Drak. I don't know why Kahet came to mind. The Quarg, the Drak, the Coalition, and there's pieces of that we'll probably implement to the game in terms of like actually putting it in the game so it is like true canon. But the lore document that MZ dropped is really just a collection of ideas, and the biggest divergence from that is definitely the Coalition stuff. I don't know of anybody who is really super thrilled with his original plans for the Coalition. So that's one way that we've definitely scrapped that in terms of his ideas. In terms of features, I don't know if we've scrapped any features that were MZ's ideas.
It's if anything, it's we haven't scrapped features that MZ done. We've done things that he may not have done himself.
Yeah.
For example, he didn't see mining being expanded upon the way it was, like specific mining ships or tractor beams and things like that. So we'll do some things away a bit away from what MZ might have done, but in a general sense, like we do kind of have that. There is a basis to the game. There is kind of a general guideline that we follow. The other thing
I would say that on the whole, the spirit of Endless Sky hasn't changed at all.
Yeah. Another thing,
if that's what you're getting at.
In the document, though, you say the Coalition is one thing. The one other big thing, I know a lot of people got their hats on for this, the tinfoil hats for this one. No, there will not be the Shiragi will not be suddenly alive in a Pug Galaxy somewhere else. That is way off.
Oh yeah, that was another one.
That was MZ was way off his rockers with that one. So yeah.
Roadrunner says we implemented mining, which I think MZ didn't want initially.
No,
I know that
he wanted mining, but he didn't think it should go so far as like specific mining fleets everywhere and like just making it less of a background action. Because I remember a comment where he said he wanted it to be something that you occasionally saw in the galaxy, but not made it like a forefront of gameplay. And we did kind of do that. Mining mechanics.
Yeah, he wanted mining to be a very shallow system that you really only engaged with early game. Whereas we have now added like the tractor beam and mining lasers and new mechanics to mineable asteroids that originally MZ wasn't entirely and in favor of when people asked about making mining more in depth.
And I plan to continue that with the gig now. Yeah. I will say something in regards to the question, how significantly development has diverged. This isn't so much about the plans, but the process has changed quite a bit. And I think for the better as well. Because back then, I mean, Derpy, you could, and anyone else can probably speak on this better than I can, but it was a bit slower. It wasn't as scheduled, I guess, as we have it nowadays. Yeah, if we didn't have it changed like a couple years ago, Derpy leaving would have been the end of it. No. It's sped up quite a bit, and that's good. And like it's sped up, and the quality hasn't like gotten hit hard because of that either.
Depends on who you ask.
Well, I think that goes for any game. But yeah.
Yeah. So back when the game started, it was just MZ reviewing pull requests, in addition to actually developing for the game. So as the game grew in popularity, it came to the point where MZ just could not keep up with the number of pull requests that were open, and it actually, I think, contributed to him being burned out on the game.
Yeah.
Just because he felt like he couldn't do as much for the game as he wanted to, so he just kind of slowed down and wasn't doing too much. That, in addition to the fact that he had some, I think he said he had moved because his job had required that he move somewhere else to a new location. So, having to move house and all sorts of other stuff that I'm sure was going on in his life that we weren't privy to.
Yeah.
Because of that, he slowly waned and then completely stalled out in terms of activity, contributing to the game and reviewing pull requests and what have you. So because of that, we almost up and forked the game entirely on our own. We were going to open a new repository that was a fork of the game and then continue development there. And thankfully, MZ recognized, I guess he was still keeping tabs. I think he poked his head and saw what was going on and was like, hey, I see that you guys are really thrilled about still continuing development for the game, and I don't want to have to drag the game down by being the only one who has the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. Yeah, Zipper just linked the actual organization we made with the repository we had opened up for the hard fork. And because of that, because MZ recognized that we were really thrilled about continuing development for this game, he gave myself, to Houch, and Pointed Stick access to merge pull requests and commit to the repository. And from there, we kind of continued with the same kind of system that MZ had, I would say, where MZ would just review what he wanted and close stuff without a lot of discussion oftentimes, and work on his own development on the side. Doubt's Pointed Stick and I kind of did a similar thing, although I feel like we definitely picked up the reviewing a lot more. MZ wasn't super in-depth with how much he reviewed, which I don't blame him for, just because he was one guy and he had only so much time. So I can definitely understand not giving super in-depth reasoning for things and not reviewing things super heavily. But with Houch, Pointed, and I, we really started to increase the review effort, I would say, on pull requests and try to get to as much stuff as possible and really try to... I mean, I wouldn't say this was the intention, but it was definitely the effect, where by being more in-depth with reviewing things, we started to form more of a relationship with the contributors to the game, where they would actually start to understand our mindset more on things, and that the reviews that we provide would actually help improve their future content. As the years went on, we added more developers to the game. I don't want to have to go through the list because I forget the exact order that people were added. But I mean, we added Peter, Quick, Wizrad, and then everyone else who's on the game developers list now in the rules room. And just slowly over time, we tweaked and adjusted how we do things, and then with the change of MZ's GitHub account into an organization, and definitely having more control over what we could do. Before, we would have to do everything through MZ when we wanted to add new people. Now we're able to add new developers on our own, and we're able to use permission levels that are between just a normal read-only contributor and a developer who has commit access and all that. we now have the triage role, which is where we got the reviewer role that we have here on Discord. And those are volunteers who help us out massively by kind of being our first line of defense when it comes to pull quests. And many of them were contributors in the same way as anyone else, where we just reviewed a lot of their stuff and they would get a better understanding of where we're trying to take the game, and because of that we also recognized they were becoming good at reviewing other people's work.
Yep.
So process wise things have definitely improved over the years, and it's been more distributed but not less in terms of quality, at least massively so. I think there are definitely ways in which we've I mean, I would say there are definitely ways in which we've dropped in terms of quality, but it's not like been a significant drop, and it's been for the benefit of just getting more stuff done. Like, so the drop in quality is not proportional to the increase in quantity that we've been able to output, is what I would say. I don't know if anyone else has anything to add to that. Mary asks, does anyone know what MZ is now like? What's he been up to? Nope.
We get an email from like once a year, if that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not dead as far as we're aware, if that's what you're wondering. But outside of that, we're not sure. And we're not going to snoop around and try and find him.
He's probably...
If the guy wants to live his life somewhere else, then let him.
He's probably looking on beyond the looking mirror. Seeing where things are. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I think he'd probably be
I mean, he
interested in
does have his own...
Yeah.
Has anyone checked up on his Itch.io page recently?
I don't think so.
Like 6 months ago.
Somebody link his page. I don't know what it is. Is it just his name?
He's gonna be like, where are all these views coming from?
Yeah. Yeah, so he actually has made other games. Just like small stuff that he's posted on itch.io. And yeah, hello all, I'm Michael, and I'm best known as the author of Endless Sky, an open source space exploration game. This itch.io page will be home to some smaller games and projects I'm working on. And yeah, Zipru just linked it.
And it does not link in the sky.
A couple pages, some of the...
Development log, tricks for the tile-based terrain, 65 days ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the most recent thing was like 58, 65 days ago.
So he's still kicking. He's still doing stuff. This looks pretty cool. Yeah. So if you want to play his other games, go for it. Wow. I just pulled up one of the other pages. 2 years ago, this guy goes, I wish I could say this game is great, but all I see is a game which is made by slide mechanics and lots of bugs. And then the guy right below him, this showed up in my itch.io feed, and man am I glad, because this is a very cool proof of concept. I see this came out in 2020, so not sure if you're still working on this, but it really does feel quite intuitive, and traveling across the map is very easy. Hey, I recognize this game, or this name, Fix It Yandu. Looks great. I'd love to see a larger game come out of this, but don't forget about the Wanderer storyline before you start a new project. In all seriousness, do what you enjoy. Stay safe.
Did you reply to that?
No, MC didn't reply to any of the comments. Dude, I swear I saw Fix It in the chat earlier. Dude, that's hilarious. Okay, maybe not. I thought I saw him in the voice chat, but he hasn't said anything for a while, so maybe not.
That's fine.
Unless he's just larking. Yeah. Part of me does wish he would come back, but
yeah.
I mean, maybe it's for the better he stays away so he doesn't see what we've done.
Yeah, we broke everything. He's gonna make a community branch, not no. All right. We got one more question here, and then probably start.
Yeah, it's probably about wrapping up. Yeah.
Yeah. Story question. Can't help but notice the exiles now have an abundance of sister ships once the sister are gone. Is that about to be everyone else's problem? It'd be cool if sister ships could be seen in Remnant or even Syndicate raids, if for no other reason than to let me get more 349s after the Wanderer campaign. First point, we're not doing anything to make you get more 349s. When they're gone, tough. Second, there are plans to bring back the sister / hostile red ships like in the position of the exiles for the end of the Wanderer campaign. How we do that, I can't say yet because I don't know, but I would think it'd be interesting to see the Korth use them maybe in Remnant content in the future. I think that was in the cards a long time ago, but I couldn't say. But as for like Syndicate raids, probably not. I don't know. What do you think? You guys?
I think that any involvement in adding the Automata ships to raids would be story-based. It wouldn't be just randomly spawned fleets, unless it was an event that was started as a part of a story that would be wrapped up at some point where that then doesn't happen anymore.
It wouldn't be in static fleets. It would be in events. So it wouldn't happen to the Polaris fleet or the Sheraton fleet. If there's an event that occurs with Syndicate space, yes, but I don't think we'd have that because most of what's planned for Wanderers 3 is kind of more for Korth exile space and less so human space itself. And then as Doom said, I remember a while back when I was talking with Zichus, there are some thoughts to, because the Korth are trying to reclaim territory and because they're also attacking the Remnant, that perhaps they start using those ships in the Remnant space too. So maybe there. But as for the Syndicate, no. For human space, probably not now. That being said, yes, there will probably be an opportunity to get Kibs again or whatever, but not forever. Depending on how it plays out. That's all the questions on our submission sheet. Around this time we end up slowly wrapping things up. We look back to the Discord chat here and Twitch chat and have you guys kind of shoot whatever questions on your mind. For now and X, next update is January, I think it's 20, is it the 8th? 28th? Let's look at the events here.
25th.
25th? Oh, 25th, yep, you're right. Why did I think in 28? Oh, I'm looking at this month. Because that's Saturday, yeah. So the end of January.
Any final thoughts as we wrap up? I will note, I probably won't be present during the next month's Campfire chat. I have a conflict that cannot be moved. And then the month after that, I think I have something else then too. These were things that were technically planned before I ended my hiatus, so it's cool. I'm allowed to do that. Month after that should be good. So you might not see me in one of these until March.
Yeah. Well, with that said, is that gonna be every Saturday or just Campfire chats?
Oh, it just those Campfire chat
Okay.
Saturdays.
'Cause I know we were talking about.
Yeah,
days.
I won't give. I won't divulge the personal details on those, but yeah. It's just those days.
Don't need you going on a hiatus again.
No.
Mary asks, is there going to be a Korth Exile storyline, or is all this story going to be through other people's storylines? There's a big old lore document.
Time will tell.
Yeah. So far, it's kind of more so through other storylines. I don't think they'll ever get like a quote free worlds alternative. I would say, but to have their own kind of little story, I think that might be something interesting. Yeah. Any other final questions? Rapid fire questions in the next 2 minutes. Go. No problem, Dak.
Dax says, thanks for addressing my question about the music. I've been occupied with other stuff, so I didn't catch all of it, but I'll watch the VOD. Well, if there's no questions, then I guess we can just wrap it up.
Yep. Well, thanks for coming to watch our campfire chat here. We do this once a month. I was considering doing it every other month because sometimes there's a lower amount of questions. So we'll see where. I think we can do it again next month. We'll see where it lands up being. But if you have any questions that you want us answered in the future, go ahead and submit those in the document. Sometimes you can just ping us too. If we're around, we'd be willing to answer it if we're not busy, I think. Yeah. The VOD will be up shortly. I will add a link to it once it's available. Or not a link to my VOD, but to the YouTube channel VOD. Mary asks, really, what are they? Stay tuned. Extinct, however, stay tuned. Alright, well, that's it for me, so. We'll see you guys next time. Yep, see you.